guys, we are back with another song by Eminem. And which one are we doing today?
Today we are doing Framed.
I know this song.
Yeah, I know you know
Yeah.
this. I love this song. I think
Yeah.
you love this song.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so it's track number 12 off of Revival.
Mhm.
So even though we both know it, we're going to do what we always do. We'll listen to it and break it down.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a new sponsor today, Manscaped. So if you're like me, you hear commercials for Manscaped like on every podcast, and it's like, all right. Now, I was very skeptical, but I did get the Manscaped performance package, and it comes with a bunch of stuff. The new 4.0 trimmer, which I actually have here. In my opinion, the coolest thing about it, it has this light. You see that? So when you're shaving your balls, your ass, whatever you're doing, yeah, you could actually see it like really well. Yeah. So the performance package is really cool though, if you want to check that out. It comes with a travel bag. It comes with the lawnmower 4.0, which this one has a ceramic blade, so it won't cut you there, which is cool. It comes with the ear and nose trimmer. Comes with the attachments for the blades, right? And then it also comes with a ball toner and a ball deodorant.
What's ball toner?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't tried those yet. I've done the trimmer. The trimmer is awesome. I am very interested in those, so I will report back next time to let you know.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
Yes. And that package also comes with boxers, like boxer briefs. They're like I showed you them. Remember I had you feel them when I got them? They're like very nice. So yes, they are a new sponsor, and you can get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code WithSmith, which is our same promo code
Right here.
at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code WithSmith. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. So I will say, finally, I know this is long, but I've used tons of different buzzers and trimmers, and in my experience, this is by far the best. It's very, very helpful and safe.
Yeah, and you didn't even get a razor bump like you usually do, right?
Yes, so that's like their
Yeah.
like so the buzzer itself is waterproof and it like reduces like nicks and ingrown hairs, which I get those all the time,
Yeah.
but this really helps prevent it. So it's an awesome product.
Yeah, and then I don't have to go digging and help him get rid
Pull
of his
out the
ingrown
ingrowns.
hairs.
Yeah.
Because it's not, yeah, we really should go to the doctor for that. But it's okay. Yeah, and the link for that is in the description below. And this video is also sponsored by Carnivore Snacks, which is my favorite dried meat snack ever. Chomps, my absolute favorite beef jerky ever. And SeatGeek, the greatest place to buy tickets for like anything like a sport event or a concert. And you can use the same exact coupon code with Smith for Carnivore Snacks. You will get 15% off your order. For Chomps, you will get 10% off your order plus an additional 10% off subscriptions. And SeatGeek, you will get $20 off your very first purchase. And all of the links are in the description below with some more information on each of them. Highly recommend absolutely every single company though. Like, we do not work with any brands that we don't either use or like.
Yes.
So I'm not just going to sit here and promote something that I'm not completely obsessed with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave me a little more, the Manscaped gave me a little more faith in the podcast people. Because again, like I said, I see their ads everywhere and I'm like, okay, but there's a reason for it, I believe. I think these people are actually happy with the product. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, and like and subscribe and follow us on socials if you wanna.
Yes. All right. So here we go. Framed.
Feeling kinky, lip syncing the two shorts, freaky tales. Yeah. Having creepy visions of whiskey drinking, envisioning sneaking into where Christy Brinkley dwells. I know this is risky thinking, but I want a sticker like she's decals. But when murdering females, better pay attention to these details, or you could be derailed. Better wear at least 3 layers of clothing or be in jail. If you get scratched because you're DNA. Be all up under her fingernails. Man, he hears you, I don't think he cares. He gives a fuck, even his pinky swears. 3 personalities, person out of me, please beware. Her TV blares, can't hear the creaking stairs. She's unaware in no underwear, she's completely bare. Turns around and screams, I remember distinctly. I said I'm here to do sink repairs. Chop her up, put her body parts in front of Stephen Avery's trailer and leave him there. But hey man, I was framed. I know what this looks like, officers, please just give me 1 minute. I think I can explain. I murder nobody, I know these words are so nutty, but I'm just here to entertain. How come your shirt is so bloody? There's a missing person, so what? He's got nothing to do with me. I'm almost certain I was framed.
I love this song.
Yeah, this was the song I was confused when I was like, oh, it's like, is that the song where like the demon guy talks in the chorus?
So
It's this one.
I didn't know what you were talking about, but it's the "How come your shirt is so bloody?" That line,
They
right?
sound like demons.
No, it does. I just when you said it, I was like, I'm not sure what you were referring to, but
Mhm.
it makes sense now.
Someone pointed that out. I don't remember who, but thank you.
Oh yeah. So yeah, this song, this is so great. It just starts off, goes into the first verse. So obviously this is very reminiscent of the album Relapse. It's the horrorcore serial killer type stuff. So he comes in, first verse, he says, feeling kinky, lip syncing to Too Short's Freaky Tales. And then you hear the ad lib biatch, which was like one of
His like
Too Short's.
phrases.
Yeah, it's like an ad lib he would do. And then yeah, so he's feeling kinky, and then so he's lip syncing to the song, which is funny. Having creepy visions of whiskey drinking and envisioning sneaking into where Christy Brinkley dwells.
So into her home.
Yeah, so he's got this like urge to just like get drunk and then break in.
Creep.
And Christy Brinkley was like a supermodel. She was really
Mhm.
famous back in the 80s, 90s, I suppose.
Yeah.
He said, then he continues, I know this is risky thinking, but I want to stick her like she's decals.
Oh, like a decal.
Yes. So it's interesting. So the stick her. So you can interpret that as like sexual, right?
Yeah, I think that's what he, or like murder.
Like stick her, like with a knife.
Mhm.
And then it obviously sounds like sticker, like a children, like a sticker that you put
Yeah,
on,
like a decal.
which is
Because
why he
they're
says,
stickers.
yeah, so decal, but he says decals, I guess, because it helps it rhyme.
Yeah.
I should point out that the his rhyming, like the syllables, the lip syncing to Freaky Tales, Creepy Visions, whiskey drinking, Christy Brinkley dwells, like that whole
Yeah.
thing. He's
It all
rhyming.
like rhymes together.
Yeah, there's so many carrying from line to line. There's like a bunch of internal like syllables that are rhyming that he's carrying on in each sentence. It's really cool. But
I
then
need to put my gum out.
okay,
It's bothering me. Sorry, guys.
it's all right.
Oh.
Then he says, but when murdering females, better pay attention to these details or you could be derailed. So, okay, so that's what made the stick her makes me think he's talking about stabbing her.
I think
And
both.
it is a double entendre, but he goes from stick her like decals, and then he says, but when murdering females. Do you know what I mean? So like
Yeah, I think it is supposed to be both
a double,
though.
I agree,
Yeah.
for sure. So now he's trying to warn you how to get away with murdering females. He says, better wear at least 3 layers of clothing or be in jail. If you get scratched because your DNA will be all up under her fingernails. So it's, I think, happens to be actually true. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Which is very
That's exactly
funny.
what happened.
Yeah. Then he says, man, he hears you. I don't think he cares. He gives a fuck. Even his pinky swears. 3 personalities burst anatomy. Please beware. So
Oh, so it's like Marshall, Eminem, and Slim Shady.
yeah, exactly. So it sounds like he changes the way he delivers this line. So I don't know if it's another personality because he goes, man, you know what I mean? He says like, man, he
Yeah.
hears you. I don't think he cares. Like, so it wasn't clear if that's like somebody else, like
Maybe it is.
an
That's probably
on.
why he brought up the 3 personalities part at the end.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was like one of his other personalities or if it was like somebody else just talking about him, but
Yeah.
whatever. So yes, split personality. So he's invoking like so were there any serial killers, famous ones that were known to have split personalities or not? Like that's like a common.
Dissociative identity disorder.
So it reminds me of the movie Split.
Yeah, that wasn't real though.
No, I know, but I don't know if there's like a specific like serial killer that was known to have like multiple personalities or not.
So I'm pretty sure there were a few who tried to claim that they did,
Oh yeah, of
and a
course.
lot of people also claimed to be schizophrenic.
Yeah,
But I don't know anyone who did.
actually have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think so. Really off topic, but a lot of people don't believe that dissociative identity disorder can actually result in actual multiple personalities. Like they
Yeah.
think it's either a fake or a lie, or it's just so
It just
insanely
seems like
rare.
that too
Yeah.
to the person.
Like you can have the disorder where you just sort of like lose time and like you're just like, no, not present, but like you're not another, like a whole nother person during that period of time.
Yeah, so I was really just wondering because so the obviously the three personalities is specific to Eminem and his three different characters, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there's a lot of stuff like informed on this, like on like 3 a.m. and stuff, where it's about the serial killer. So like even on this, you'll hear stuff like alluding to like Ted Bundy, kind of, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Oh, like I guess the closest would be like the Son of Sam, because he kind of,
He said the dog told him to do it, right?
yeah, but there was also just like more to that. He was just very like,
Yeah, David Berkowitz.
yeah, I don't know.
All
I
right.
would have to look it up.
So he continues, he says, her TV blares, can't hear the creaking stairs. She's unaware in no underwear. She's completely bare. Turns around and screams. I remember distinctly. I said, I'm here to do sink repairs. Okay, so I love this part of the song. The rhyming, the her TV blares, creaking stairs, underwear, unaware, completely bare. Like, it's so sick.
Yeah.
And then me and you always laugh at this line. I'm just envisioning this. So this is Christy Brinkley, right? And she's just in her house. She's not paying attention. She's naked.
He's probably changing. It's
Yes.
probably
And
nighttime.
then she turns around and then Eminem's standing there. But just imagine anybody, but it is Eminem. And then he says, I'm here to do sink repairs. Like
It's like
that's the it's like he panicked and that was like his response. Like, I'm here to fix your sink, which is so funny. And then he says, chop her up, put her body parts in front of Stephen Avery's trailer, and leave him there. So Stephen Avery from Making a Murderer, which I don't think you ever finished, right? You
no.
didn't like him, so you were like, screw him.
Yeah.
So I did see it. Stephen Avery, if you're not familiar, there's a Netflix documentary called Making a Murderer, which is like very biased. But there's a fact that he was framed and put in jail. And
It
then
was a for fact.
so he was framed, put in jail. It was proven that he was framed. He won a lawsuit, and before he was in the process of suing the city and collecting the state, another woman was murdered, and then that's what he's in jail for now, which apparently people think he did kill her. But the
So
Making a
he,
Murderer, the documentary tries to put reasonable doubt that it might not have been him.
well, I know, because I remember watching that and I was just like, obviously, when you watch these things, you take it with a grain of salt. And then I was like looking up all the information about the case online, and there were things that contradicted what was said in the show. Like proof was left out.
So yeah, for
Like there
sure.
was proof that they had. So I was like, well, why would that be there if he didn't do it? You
Well,
know? So I was just like, I don't like how biased this
well,
is.
no, just the even forget about whether he did the. Let's just say he did the second murder, right?
Or both of them.
So no, they proved it. There was no DNA
For
at the time.
real?
Yeah, yeah, it was a rape actually on a beach, and they didn't have DNA technology at the time. And then they did, and they proved it wasn't him. Like there's zero
Hmm.
chance it was him, and they caught the guy that did.
But the lady at the house, like, or the trailer, wherever it was,
Yeah, so
that
that's what
lady
he's in
who
jail for
died,
now.
she was like
Yeah,
a reporter, right?
she
Or
was
something.
she was it was an auto. Maybe she was. I don't remember if she was
She was
working
like
for
doing something. I don't
she
remember
was either
really.
selling a car or worked for an auto magazine. I forget. But yes, so anyway, say he did the second one. The craziest part is that he was framed. The cops were like, nope, this is our guy because they hated him. He was wild. You know what I
So
mean?
maybe they're framing him again. I don't know, but
So,
I don't know.
so from what I hear, it sounds like not. But anyway, he was framed
Yeah,
and
but there
then
was evidence found,
wasn't.
like
Of
that was
course.
more blatant evidence than what was mentioned in the show. That's for
Oh,
sure.
definitely. You could go on YouTube. There's tons of videos debunking the doc.
Yeah.
All right. So then he finishes that. He goes into the chorus. He says, "But hey, man, I was framed. I know what this looks like, officers. Please just give me 1 minute. I think I can explain. I ain't murdered nobody. I know these words are so nutty, but I'm just here to entertain.
And I like this part. I don't know why.
And it's how come your shirt is so bloody?
And they sound like demons, like
Yeah.
people like yeah, like a demonic voice, which is cool because like the people asking that question are actually good people, but he hears them as being like bad people,
So, but what's
right?
interesting, have you ever seen the music video for this song? Because there is a music video.
Mm-mm.
So, interestingly enough, the cop, I believe, I haven't watched it since it came out. I believe the cop is actually crooked or in on it, which is weird. So, that gives a different context to these lyrics.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, he continues, there's a missing person. So what? He's got nothing to do with me. I'm almost certain I was framed.
But like the point I was trying to say is what I find really interesting is like if you're asking him why his shirt's so bloody, you're most likely like a good person. You're like, you killed this guy. Like you have evidence on your shirt, but like they make him sound like evil, which is
No, no,
cool,
no, I know
is what I
that.
was trying to
But
say.
my point is, in the music video, that cop
Yeah, he's
is
bad.
actually bad. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
that's what's weird. So the way he's delivering the lines is very interesting too. He's like, "I was framed," you
Yeah,
know.
like long and drawn out and almost like as if he was, I don't know, like not 100% there mentally.
So yeah, definitely. So the interesting thing about this song, as we go on, he actually mentions in the third verse too. So at this point, Eminem or whatever personality he's speaking from in this song is that he's under the impression that he's just creating music, right, with
Mhm.
wild lyrics, and the cops are just coming after him because his songs have those lyrics. But then we find out in the third verse that his lyrics match up exactly with the murder scene. So then he's like, you know, but he's under the impression that he didn't do these things.
Yeah.
But he knows he's crazy, but he's like, I just didn't do these. It's weird.
Something, just
Yeah.
this one.
All right. We'll pick it up here.
I was framed. Woke up, it was dawn. Musta knew something was wrong. Think I'm becoming a monster cause of the drugs that I'm on. Donald Duck's on as a Tonka truck in the yard. But dog, how the fuck is Ivanka Trump in the trunk of my car? Gotta get to the bottom of it to try to solve it. Must go above and beyond, cause it's incumbent upon me. Plus I feel somewhat responsible for the dumb little blonde girl, the motherfucking baton twirler that got something upon. Second murder with no recollection of it. Collecting newspaper articles, cutting out sections from it. Memories too buff to remember. Destructive temper cut my public defender's jugular, then stuck him up in a blender. Another dismembered toddler discovered this winter, probably cause the disassembled body was covered up in the snow since the month of November. Oddly, I'm wanted for questioning. Them son of a bitches probably just wanna pin this on me. But hey man, I was framed. I know what this looks like, officers. Please just give me 1 minute. I think I can explain. I ain't murder nobody. I know these words are so nutty, but I'm just here to entertain. How come your shirt is so bloody? There's a missing person, so what? He's got nothing to do with me. I'm almost certain I was framed.
Second verse. I love this song so much. So that's why when we did Believe, I was like, I think Believe is the best song on this album, but it's not necessarily my favorite. I think because like this is like my favorite.
I think the song's really good.
I know. I just think like Believe is like so like technical. I mean, this has got good stuff too, but this is just fun. The content's wild, you know what I
I
mean?
like it.
Yeah, me too. I love
It's
it.
clever.
So he comes in second verse. Woke up, it was dawn. Must have knew something was wrong. Think I'm becoming a monster because of the drugs that I'm on. So
Self-explanatory.
yeah, so it's interesting. He said he woke up, it was dawn. So he's waking up at dawn, which is kind of similar to like 3 a.m. where he just wakes up. You know what I mean? And he's like the bodies all around him and McDonald's and stuff. It's like the same thing. So that's why he knew something was wrong because he's waking up and he's like, what the hell, right? And then think I'm becoming a monster because the drugs that I'm on. So we'd see this through line ever since Eminem gets clean, where he equates, especially on relapse, his drug use to turning him into this bad, evil person. You know what I mean? And like he equates his serial killer, right? That serial killer mentality with like who he becomes when he's a sober person and then takes drugs or alcohol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool. So it's like a relapse because, he's doing drugs again and becoming a serial killer. And he continues, Donald Duck's on. There's a Tonka truck in the yard.
How like ADD.
Yeah, so Donald Duck's always watching cartoons
And then he just notices a Tonka truck in the
in the
yard,
yard.
like a toy truck.
Yes. And then he says, but dog, how the fuck is Ivanka Trump in the trunk of my car? Which is very funny. It's so yeah, Donald Duck, the Tonka truck, Ivanka Trump. So the
Yeah, all
rhyming is
rhymes.
cool. And so this obviously mimics Kim, Bonnie 97 Bonnie and Clyde,
Yeah.
Stan. It's a common theme with the woman tied up in the trunk. I mean,
This is
and then
Ivanka.
Eminem in the trunk in Bad Guy. Then he says, so she's in his car at this point, and he has no clue why.
Yeah.
He says, "Got to get to the bottom of it, to try to solve it."
I think it's pretty clear what
But
happened.
he's like, "What's going on here? Must go above and beyond because it's incumbent upon me."
Which is why I was like, oh, that's so funny because he's talking about like Ivanka Trump and like Donald Trump. He ran for president. It's like incumbent.
Incumbent, yeah, that
Yeah.
is interesting for sure. Um, so yeah, he's like, so I have her body, so I have to figure out why she's here, like because he's not remembering, which is so funny.
Well, like he's not thinking it was
I know
him. He's
that's
like,
why
well,
it's.
I didn't. Who did
I
this?
know. He's
What do
like,
you
he's like,
mean?
it's
It's your
he's like, I'm
car.
gonna have to be the one that figures this out. I'm
Oh,
responsible
yeah.
for this, which is so funny. Then he says, plus I feel somewhat responsible for the dumb little blonde girl, that motherfucking baton twirler that got dumped in the pond.
So I have no idea why, but this line has always made me think of John Benet Ramsey.
Me too.
Even though she was never dumped in a pond, she was dumped in her basement. And I mean, she was a pageant girl. I wouldn't necessarily call her a baton twirler.
So I think John Bonet was his inspiration for this, but it is from another song of his, like a freestyle. It's called
Okay.
"I'm Having a Relapse" is the name of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a blonde girl that gets killed and stuff, so he's doing like a callback to that.
Okay.
And again, it's so he says, plus I feel somewhat responsible for the dumb little blonde girl. Again, like he did this, but he doesn't remember, just like everything,
Yeah.
just like the murders in this song, Ivanka Trump in his trunk. He's like, I don't remember these things, but with the little girl in the pond, he's like, I feel somewhat responsible, like
Yeah.
he knows something. Then he says, second murder with no recollection of it, collected newspaper articles, cutting out sections from it. So this is a direct reference to one of the big serial killers. It's either Ted Bundy or
Like all of them,
no,
like
no,
all
no,
serial killers do
no,
this.
but one of them, one of the famous ones, it might be on Genius. One of the famous ones do not remember the second murder, like at all. Um, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer claims to have no memory of his second murder. So this is a reference to Dahmer.
We can take this with a grain of salt. If he had, because I mean, the only reason why you're even knowing about this is because there was a trial. And
So
when you have someone on trial, I mean, maybe he didn't want to admit to one more murder.
I mean, he was done anyway.
No, I know,
But
but you never know.
so
Like,
we saw in the series, the Dahmer series,
yeah.
that he was in clubs and drinking and he did drugs. So it's very
Yeah, maybe he
possible to
was
be in a
really
blackout.
trashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So either way, he doesn't remember this murder, and then he's collecting newspaper articles, cutting out sections from it. So you see that with like serial killers. You see that in movies a lot.
Yeah,
They're
just
cutting it.
mementos. I mean, their names are mentioned.
Oh, yeah. So that's right. For some reason I was thinking of like the ransom note,
Oh,
but you're
no,
right.
they're
It's
collecting all
it's
the articles about the murders they
exactly.
committed.
Yes, exactly.
Scrapbooking.
Yes. Then he says, memories too fucked to remember, destructive temper, cut my public defender's jugular, then stuck him up in a blender.
Okay.
So, yeah, his memory's bad.
Public
He's
defender
angry.
Smithy.
Yeah, so he cut his public defender and then blended him. Then he continues, another dismembered toddler discovered this winter probably because the
Probably.
yeah, I know.
Like
'Cause
he already knows that they're going to be discovered.
no, so he's saying so he thinks it's going to be discovered in the winter
Hmm.
because the disassembled body was covered up in the snow since the month of November, oddly.
Because there's no snow in November.
No, well, sometimes there is.
Occasionally.
So yeah, he thinks that it's going to get discovered in the winter, and then what? The snow's going to melt in the winter. I don't know. It's
I
interesting.
don't know. I
Then
guess it depends where you live. Like we live in New York. It really does not snow here in November. I'm sure if you live
we've
further
had
up
snow on
north,
Thanksgiving for sure.
yeah, but like you get my point. Like it's not really the month you think of for snow. But
Yeah,
that's just here, maybe where like further up north you get snow earlier,
maybe.
I guess.
Then he says, "I'm wanted for questioning. Them son of a bitches probably just want to pin this on me." So again, he thinks
Yeah,
he's
he
being
thinks he
set up.
didn't do anything wrong. So
All
like I know she's in my trunk, but like I didn't do
right.
it.
All right, we will finish out the rest of this song now.
Still on the loose day. Spotted me inside McDonald's Tuesday. In a Toronto Blue Jays cap, looking like your college roommate. With Rihanna, Lupe, Saddam Hussein, Bobby Boucher, or was it Cool J? The cops is on a goose chase. Just escape from the state pen for ifing 8 women who hate men. Don't make it no weirder. I'm naked when I break in your basement. Under your baby's playpen, I lay in wait adjacent, facing the door, remaining patient while staying complacent. Blatant sexual implications all continuing to get thrown. Insinuations are placed in little riddles and poems, left on your pillow in hopes that when you get home, you'll get the hint, ho. I'm in your window. But it never occurred to me I could describe a murder scene in a verse and be charged with first degree, cause it just happened to match up perfectly with the massacre or the Burger King burglary. No, officer, you see I was framed. I know what this looks like, officers, please just give me 1 minute. I think I can explain. I ain't murder nobody, I know these words are so nutty, but I'm just here to entertain. How come your shirt is so bloody? There's a missing person, so what? He's got nothing to do with me. I'm almost certain I was framed.
I love this song. This is like this way I get mad at Eminem. Like he shit talks Relapse. Like this stuff is so brilliant that he does.
Yeah.
Then again, he's the one that made the song and put this on Revival. So like he obviously knows people like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's good. It's fun.
It's great, and this verse is incredible.
Yeah, it's
I
insane.
used to think one of the other maybe the first was my favorite or the second, but this
No, this
one
one's really
it's
good.
very cool. He does a lot of cool shit in this one.
Yeah.
So he says, "Still on the loose, they spotted me inside McDonald's Tuesday in a Toronto Blue Jays cap, looking like your college roommate."
Just some random everyday guy.
Yeah, so he was in McDonald's. So apparently the Blue Jays are rivals of the Detroit Tigers. I didn't know that. But
Interesting.
so Eminem's from Detroit. He actually did like a collab with the Detroit Tigers, their team. So like he's wearing the opponent, that'd be like a Yankees fan wearing a Red Sox hat thinking they
But
were
it
being
would be,
disguised.
well, yeah, it could be. Because like, oh, it's not Eminem. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be
he
him.
wouldn't be wearing a Blue Jays
No.
hat, which is very funny. And then, yeah, looking like your college room, like you pointed out, just a normal guy. And then he says, with Rihanna, Lupe, Saddam Hussein, Bobby Boucher, or was it Cool J? The cops are on a goose chase. So he seems like he's trying to establish his alibi
Yeah.
and saying he was with Rihanna, or was it Lupe
Or it was with
Fiasco?
all of them, I thought.
Well, so he's trying to say he was with like one of them. He says, or was it Cool J? So Rihanna, we know the singer, Lupe Fiasco, the rapper, Saddam Hussein, the leader of Iraq, who was
I would
killed.
feel like Saddam is the least likely person that you
Well,
were
he's
with.
dead at this point.
Yeah.
Bobby Boucher, do you know who that is?
I've heard his name, but I don't know who he
He's the
is.
Water Boy, Adam Sandler's character in The
Okay.
Water
Well,
Boy.
that's the least possible one. He's
Yeah.
not even a real person.
And then LL Cool J, obviously. And
I
then
feel
he's
like the most likely person is Rihanna.
probably. And then he says the cops are on a goose chase, so they're looking for him. So this is interesting. He does just escaped the state pen for raping 8 women who hate men. So if you noticed in a few of his songs, his later ones, they edit out that word. So it even
Right.
says yes.
Mm,
Like this is not an edited song. We hear all the on the album. this word is intentionally cut out.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a line like that in Medicine Man, which is a song we haven't reacted to yet that people want us to, which we will get to. But he has another line like that, and they cut out the word. You hear like a record scratch or whatever. So, for whatever reason, he decided, or the label decided, that he's not actually going to use the word anymore,
Okay.
which is interesting, right?
It's a big word for him. He uses it a lot.
Yeah. So, it's funny. He escaped the state pen, so he was in prison for assaulting 8 women who hate men, which is very funny, the rhyming scheme. But so he raped 8 women who all hated men, which is obviously it's
Ironic.
it's terrible to do it to any woman, but
Yeah.
like the point is he did it to women who hate men. So it's like crazy. Then
Mhm.
he says, "Don't make it no weirder. I'm naked when I break in your basement under your baby's playpen."
Creepy.
So it's funny how he says it, "Don't make it no weirder." That
It's weird. It's the weirdest it can possibly
So
be.
yeah, so he broke into your basement while he was naked and is hiding under your baby's playpen.
Finding Eminem under your baby's playpen naked.
Yeah. And then so this is a crazy little cool thing he does here. So he says, "I lay in wait adjacent, facing the door, remain impatient while staying complacent." So there's a
Basement.
so yes, the rhymes are awesome there. But there's a little play on so I lay in wait adjacent, facing the door. So if you're laying in wait, meaning you're trying
Yeah,
to
you're
sneak up.
waiting. You're
Yes,
just
right.
waiting for the right moment.
And then so he's saying he's adjacent facing the door. So he's adjacent to so it's I'm not sure what he's adjacent to, but that's the play. Adjacent facing the door. A Jason face in the door. So that's the play, like Jason the serial
Ooh, I
killer.
never heard that one.
Yeah. So that's the play.
I like that.
So adjacent facing the door, or adjacent, like a Jason mask facing the door. So he's in your basement naked with a Jason mask,
In
which
the
is,
door.
yeah, which is really cool. But the line adjacent, I'm getting hung up on it because now that I'm breaking this down, I'm like, what is he saying he's adjacent to?
So first off, he was under your baby's playpen in your basement. Then he's laying in wait, adjacent,
Adjacent.
facing the door. So he's adjacent next to the playpen. He's not underneath it anymore, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm just next to the playpen.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just gotta plug this in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know.
Oh no, don't let it die.
Now we're plugged in. Sorry. So yeah, that cool little scheme of adjacent facing the door, adjacent facing the door. Okay,
Mhm.
whatever, we got it. I fucked up the camera.
There.
All right. Then he continues. Blatant sexual implications are continuing to get thrown. So he starts this scheme here. Insinuations are placed in little riddles and poems, left on your pillow in hopes that when you get home, you'll get the hint, ho, I'm in your window.
So he wants her to know that he's there, even though he's hiding from her.
Yes. So do you get the wordplay on this?
Yeah, I'm an innuendo.
Yes.
But
So
in your window.
in your window and innuendo, which starts back here with blatant sexual implications are continuing to get thrown. So a sexual implication is an innuendo,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then insinuations, innuendo. But yeah, if you just take the face value of it, so he's putting riddles and poems on your pillow. So you just come home with these creepy riddles and poems there.
Yeah, like trying to like get you to figure out that someone's in your house. I mean, you should already know someone's in your house.
Yeah.
If there isn't something on your pillow you didn't put there.
And then he says you get the hint. But then I love the in your window
Mhm.
innuendo. It's awesome. So went from the basement, now he's in the window. And then he says, but it never occurred to me I could describe a murder scene in a verse and be charged with first degree because it just happened to match up perfectly with the massacre or the Burger King burglary. No, officer, you see. Okay, so this is what I was referring to. In his mind, he is just making music, art, and serial killer
Yeah.
stuff like Eminem does. I'm just doing what Eminem does. I'm rapping about being a serial killer. I don't actually do these things,
No.
right? But then he gets charged with first degree murder because it is exactly describing a real crime that happened. Two crimes, the massacre and the Burger King burglary. And then he says, "No, officer, you see." And then he goes back into the chorus.
Interesting.
All right. And that is it. So, Framed.
It's really good. I like the song a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
me too.
It's fun.
I think it's my favorite on the album. Sorry, I'm still fucking with the camera because the angle's weird. It's fun, the song. You know, it's one of his serial killer ones, but it's fun. The rhyming is like really good.
Yeah, it is.
The internal rhymes, the syllables. His
It's just very creative.
yeah, the way he's rapping, so like his the what is it, assonance? Like the sound of his voice, the way he is rapping the lyrics is cool, you know.
Mhm.
And then I actually like some people I saw critique the chorus, the I can explain, like they find that annoying. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I think it makes the song.
Yeah,
It's like really cool.
exactly.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, so definitely check out Manscaped, SeatGeek, Chomps, and Carnivore Snacks, and our Amazon storefront. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes. See you.
Bye.
Bye.